Hello and welcome to my Sunday show with Spirit. And I want to share with you the voices of the very many personalities that are speaking to me on a daily basis. And so I want to, first of all, let you know how you can find me. You can find me on Facebook, you can find me on my website, and you can also find me. No, that's it. That's how you can find me. So, I the first person that's stepping forward is Mother Mary, and she's very grateful to have this opportunity to be able to speak. And she said it was always me that put was insistent with Gail that I wanted this opportunity to speak on a regular basis. And this is why you will be hearing from me many times as I come through and give you my words of wisdom. She's saying to me that when she was on the earth plane, when she first heard that she was going to have a young child and she was pregnant, she says I was very young, and in a way I was, whilst I had been taught very well about the spiritual ways, I was actually quite naive and just really still a young girl. But as time went on, I had many children, she says, many children. And as I got older, I became quite wise, she says, because we had many difficulties in our life and we had to move a lot. And in this movement that we had, moving from one place to another, she said it was always difficult to sort of settle again and sort of make friends. And of course, not everybody, she says, would understand her beliefs and her spiritual beliefs. But she says she always did her utmost to impart information to those people that were willing to listen, because she always wanted to talk about God and her experiences with Archangel Gabriel and the angelic realm. And she says not only that, she always wanted to speak about her son Jesus, because she knew that he was somebody that was a gift to her and the world. And she had been told this by Archangel Gabriel. She knew that she wanted to be able to, it's almost like, I want to sing to the world how happy she is because she has her son. And she's saying to me that Jesus was quite a quiet, subdued boy when he was a young boy, and he didn't always want to play like a normal child. He enjoyed the solitude of life. And she realizes now that that was him sort of being very connected to the spirit world, because she says that in that solitude he was always developing his skills and his learning from God. She says to me that because she knew his role and his purpose in life, she didn't concern herself with him being not so playful with the other children. She thought that that was okay, because she knew that this was part of his development and this is part of his learning. So she allowed that to continue on. She's also saying to me that as time went on, she could see that he was more and more connected to the spirit world and less connected to our world. But she says that one day he came to her and he said, "Mother, I have had an experience today, and that experience is something that is so profound that I must discuss it with you." And she said, "Well, what is it? What do you need to discuss with me?" And he said, I have had a long conversation with our Father God, and he wants me to go out into the world and preach to everyone about his words, and he wants me to explain to people the truths of God and the truths of heaven and the spirit world. And Mother Mary said to him, she said, you must do this. If this is what's being required of you, then you must. You must honour what God wishes for you. For this is your path and this is what is expected of you. And you must do this. And so she encouraged him greatly to do what was right by God. And she's saying to me that she didn't have a problem with that ever, because again, she knew that this was his sole purpose. This was what he was meant to be doing. Over time, she says, she realised the importance of this work, and she realised how much people needed him in their world, because he was very giving to them. He was very healing to people, and he created an understanding and some truths that no other religion or temple or Jew could explain. But he could. He could do this in his unique way. She said he was marvellous at preaching to people and explaining the words of God. People would be left spellbound as they listened. And she's talking about him speaking on the mount and talking to many, many people, and how she says, you could just hear nothing. It was all very quiet. And the only thing that you could hear was his voice. And everyone was just spellbound, listening to all of his words. She said that when she used to see this, it used to make her so proud that she had a son that was able to do this and able to speak to so many. And she said that she's saying to me that it was partly due to her teachings, but she always knew that there was something unique and different about him. He was special and he was sent to us from God. And she says that God was always very close with him because he was part of him. But now, she says, I'm in the spirit world and in heaven, and so is my son Jesus. And we're often together and we do much work together. We like to do humanitarian work mainly. We like to help people wherever possible and give to people wherever possible. She says, much of my work is on a healing nature and I bring lots of healing. She says that she works with the angelic realm as well, and the angels know her well. She says, I am always calling upon them for help, and so they know who I am and what I'm about. She says that sometimes it's just her and Jesus that are doing work together, and they will go to a particular place in the world that needs some assistance, and they will work together tirelessly. She says that she always can rely upon her son, because he will never give up in the face of humanity. He will always want to do work for mankind and always want to help mankind. She has the utmost respect and regard for Jesus, her son. She's also talking about some of the apostles, and she says that the apostles were also very, very connected to God, because she says that once Jesus passed on the cross, God then moved to amongst all of the men and said, go forth and preach the words of my son Jesus, and I shall be connected with you and be with you throughout that whole time that you are doing this. And this is what they did. They decided to go out into the world and take not only God's words, but Jesus's words too. But there were many times and that Jesus would speak even to them from the spirit world. It's like although he was came back and was resurrected, when he finally went to the heavens, he would always come back and then speak, because he knew the words of God and he would speak the words of God. She says that when she looks back on this life, she looks back on this life with great fondness and great love, because she knows that what she did in this world was nothing less than miraculous, because the miracles that took place, the healing that took place, the wisdom and the teachings and the preachings that took place were all as a result of their lives. And she says not one of them didn't work harder than the other. We all worked hard because we all knew that the words of God now had to be spoken. She's saying to me, as you know, much time has elapsed, much time has gone by, and we're in 2018, and we're approaching Christmas, the birthday of my son, the celebration of the birth of my son. And she says that many people have wished for Jesus to come back to the earth plane. And this is something that has always been difficult for us to consider to come back. And we have always wished to help humanity. And so we decided that we would always do it from the spirit world. And we can do so much more from the spirit world. But it is in our trust in Gail that we see an opportunity that is so great. For she is agreeing to give you our words. And we are entrusting her to speak the volumes of knowledge that we have. Of course, it is the beginnings of our words. And in these beginnings, we are looking to give you the details of our lives, the experiences that we had. But over time, we will start to give you the wisdoms of our world, the philosophy and the knowledge, and the also information that has never been spoken about on your earth plane. We like to describe the spirit world and describe everything that we do on a daily basis. And this is something that we feel that we can impart this knowledge to you, and you can gain from this. As always, we thank Gail for enabling us to have our words, and we thank you for listening to our words. Thank you very much.